The meeting, convened by French President Emmanuel Macron, unfolds against a backdrop of escalating geopolitical tensions. U.S. officials are preparing for preliminary negotiations in Riyadh with their Russian counterparts concerning the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. Simultaneously, a European summit in Paris is underway, with a key demand for the inclusion of both Ukraine and European nations in these crucial talks. This development follows Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's stark warning on Sunday. He reiterated his prediction that Russia would launch an attack on NATO if the U.S. were to withdraw its support for Ukraine. Zelensky claimed to possess intelligence indicating that Moscow is actively mobilizing its forces for such an aggressive action. The Paris summit boasts a high-profile attendee list, including French President Emmanuel Macron, who is chairing the discussions, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk, and UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. The UK's role is shaping up to be significantly active. Prime Minister Starmer declared on Sunday his readiness to deploy British troops to Ukraine as a measure to safeguard peace, underscoring the gravity of the situation and the potential for direct military involvement. Across the Atlantic, the U.S. economy faces considerable uncertainty. Nobel laureate Joseph Stiglitz has voiced concerns, describing the U.S. as a scary place to invest due to President Donald Trump's aggressive tariff policies. Stiglitz warned that Trump's volatile economic management could trigger stagflation in the U.S., a dangerous combination of high inflation and slow economic growth. The consequences for American consumers are expected to be significant, with Stiglitz predicting rising prices, a sentiment echoed by nearly all economists, differing only in the projected magnitude of the price increases. Meanwhile, in the Middle East, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu dispatched a negotiating team to Cairo on Monday to discuss a hostage deal. This follows Netanyahu's Sunday announcement that his government is collaborating closely with the U.S. to implement Donald Trump's controversial Gaza takeover plan. Netanyahu's comments came after a meeting in Jerusalem with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Rubio, while acknowledging that Trump's proposal, which advocates for transforming Palestinian territory into a U.S.-owned resort, may have shocked some, defended it as a courageous attempt to offer an alternative to what he termed tired ideas of the past. This proposal, however, has drawn widespread condemnation, with many critics labeling it an endorsement of ethnic cleansing. Alternative visions for Gaza's future are emerging. Riyadh is spearheading Arab efforts to formulate a counter-proposal to Trump's plan. This counter-proposal could potentially involve a Gulf-led reconstruction fund and a strategy to marginalize Hamas, while firmly rejecting the resettlement of Palestinians. This highlights the deep divisions and contrasting approaches to resolving the complex situation in Gaza. Elsewhere, the circumstances surrounding the death of Russian anti-war singer Vadim Stroikin remain shrouded in ambiguity. Friends of Stroikin have expressed skepticism about the official report of his suicide, stating that he fell from a ninth-floor window while security services were present. The lack of transparency surrounding the incident raises questions and fuels speculation. In Singapore, the opposition leader has been found guilty of lying to Parliament, a conviction that could lead to his disqualification from the upcoming national elections. This legal setback underscores the political complexities and potential ramifications of such actions within the Singaporean political landscape. In a rare and highly publicized interview, James Murdoch, son of media mogul Rupert Murdoch, has leveled serious accusations against his father, calling him a misogynist and revealing bitter details of their family feud amidst a power struggle over the News Corp empire. This public airing of family discord provides a glimpse into the internal conflicts and dynamics within one of the world's most influential media families. The Biden administration's ambitious Green New Deal allocated a substantial $250 billion, 80% of its green energy budget, for clean energy projects in Republican-leaning congressional districts across the U.S. However, these communities are now facing the prospect of losing out on these benefits after Donald Trump suspended federal grant funding for these initiatives. This reversal highlights the political complexities and potential for policy reversals within the U.S. political system. Horror claimant, the star of Chantal Akerman's 1978 film Les Rendezvous d'Anna, recalls the hostile reception at its premiere. Claimant recounts how the audience's aggressive response forced her to leave the venue under a trench coat, highlighting the societal resistance to the film's feminist themes. In a recent interview, at the age of 79, claimant delves into her childhood experiences, her friendship with Akerman, and even recounts a memorable anecdote of smuggling bananas onto the set of Apocalypse Now for Marlon Brando, who was under strict dietary restrictions. Despite its role as host of this November's COP30 climate summit, Brazil has made a surprising move, urging the UN to abandon plans for a new levy on emissions from global shipping. This levy was intended to raise billions of dollars to combat the climate crisis. Brazil, alongside China, Saudi Arabia, and 12 other countries, argues that the levy risks hindering exports from developing nations, driving up food prices, and exacerbating inequalities. This opposition highlights the complex geopolitical considerations that often overshadow environmental concerns. Finally, New Zealand's recent tourism campaign, with its slogan, "Everyone must go," has become the target of widespread ridicule. Critics point to its unfortunate timing, coinciding with record-high emigration rates, its similarity to a clearance sale slogan, and its somewhat desperate tone, even suggesting a need for restroom access. Ironically, the campaign's failure has generated significant discussion, prompting broader conversations about tourism marketing and public perception. This concludes today's briefing, delivered daily to thousands of subscribers. If you are not yet subscribed, please do so now. For any queries, please email newsletters@theguardian.com.